Hey, everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all you need. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition way. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, check out the latest novel by well-known award-winning author Mia Motion Zia of No Time for Love, called Missing, an extraordinary relationship between two ordinary people based on real-life events that go through 4 countries, 2 strangers, and 1 target, where truth is an illusion and the ones you love be the first to go missing. Check out the book on Amazon, other retailers, available on all formats today. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com and over 30 podcast platforms, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, Amazon, Audible, and coming soon to Podbean, Buzzsprout, TuneIn, Pandora, and more, and heard worldwide on Geo7, Radio Public, Himalaya, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel, and follow Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with a wonderful gentleman who's backed by popular demand. He is a legendary bassist and has done over 2,000 albums. And yeah, he's just ready.
I'm chomping at the bit, man. I'm chomping at the bit.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And I think we only covered about maybe, I mean, how many covered? Like 3, 4, 5. It's like we got a ways to go. It's like a king's scroll, but I mean, we can go on and on about this. But most importantly, he's got a book out there called Everybody Loves Me, and we all love this guy, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plush Studios in his wonderful studio somewhere in the United States. Ladies and gentlemen, the legendary bassist, session player, and Hall of Famer, and the author of the best-selling book Everybody Loves Me. We all love Leland Sklar. Leland, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us once again.
It's a thrill to be back with you, man. I so enjoyed hanging with you before, and this is just a real treat, man. The highlight of my day.
Oh, it's a highlight as well too. And in fact, I just got off an interview with legendary Howard Bloom, and run upstairs, and I talked to my son Sam, and he goes, ask Leland Sklar if there's gonna be apocalypse involving Looney Tunes. So maybe he wants that question answered first. Oh, like he's gonna keep bugging me at the bit like he does. Like, I mean, he's 16 years old, and it's like he asked me questions like, God, 6, 7 years old. It's like he won't stop bugging you until he just gets his question answered.
They get focused, don't they?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like having a little dog biting at your ankles.
And
I love your set. Everybody's got these really slick sets. It's so great just to look back there and see the dresser behind you and all this stuff, man. I that's so cool. I love it.
And of course, I was talking about maybe getting it modified and everything else, but I've heard no complaints from anybody. It's like, leave it the way it is. And I think you're the authority on it. It's like, yeah, leave it alone. Why not? I mean, I was going to throw a few trophies on there, but I'm like, nah, it's like what I got right here. It's like, I got greeting cards, Christmas cards, Father's Day from the family. And I also got, I'm going to show you right here, is a gift last year my daughter Sarah made.
Oh, cool.
And she handed it herself, and says, although it's got a little warrant, it says, I appreciate what you do, what you love, and thank you for your do on the radio. Yes, I love you too, Sarah. And I'm also going to show you also, I'm getting away from the sound quality, that this is my biggest trophy to date, where I work at KFYR Radio. Is from a gardener, Dan the Tree Man Cashman from Cashman Nursery, gave me this plaque and says, thank you for all you do. And this is an actual trophy.
That's so cool. I mean, that's what makes life fantastic. It's just those kind of little things that just, like I've got a room here in my house where I do all my videos and stuff from, and it's just piled with crap in here. And every once in a while I joke and say, oh, maybe I'll get a green screen, put up, and everybody goes, don't touch a thing, leave it alone. I love this organic kind of just goofy, let's get through the day look.
Mm-hmm. And of course, getting through as well too, and of course, spending more time with Leland Sklar here on the Mike Wagner Show. Besides your book, Everybody Loves Me, you also got YouTube channel. And tell us what's been happening with your YouTube channel.
It's I've put up a video every single day since the pandemic began, and I talk about a song, artists that I've worked with, and play along with songs that I've played, featuring, and I try to feature the bass parts on them, so that people can actually dig into it a little bit deeper and understand the role that the bass plays in it. And it's gone just great. And one of the best parts of it is I have a clubhouse that's part of the YouTube channel that people can join. And I do 2 live streams a month with it. And it's become a real community. And people like, sometimes I'll sit there for like 15 minutes watching the chat window before I actually start streaming.
Wow. That is
All these
amazing.
people have become friends, and they're saying, how are you doing? Hi from, Ireland, and somebody else is in Afghanistan, and somebody else is writing from New Zealand. And it's really heartwarming to see in this period of lockdown, to see a community develop like this. And I'm very proud of it. And I'm very flattered that people have come there and hang out. So it's all good,
Mhm. It is really good. Has Phil Collins stopped by yet, or James Taylor, or Carole King, or anybody from Toto, or anybody like that yet?
None of those guys, because I haven't invited them. I like hanging with the folks. And I mean, they're certainly welcome anytime they want to come by. And at some point, maybe we'll sneak them in. But I'm really enjoying just this. It's a channel of just folks, and it's really sweet. I really find it very ingratiating.
Mhm. And very ingratiating indeed as well too. And of course, your book "Everybody Loves Me," and tell us what's about again, and how's that doing? It's from
Um,
what I gather, it's
it's
been a bestseller.
it's going really good. The hard part of it is that, well, what it is. In fact, I've got it sitting right here. Hold on. Let me excuse me while I whips this out. Here's the cover,
Uh huh.
and it is a book. Just it's hard to hold it up here. It's just thousands of pictures of people giving me the finger. There's Henry Diltz, there's David Crosby,
Oh my God.
all kinds of knuckleheads in here. And it's really been a lot of fun putting this together. I have 6,000 photographs of, and it's got everybody. I've got a list here. I'll give you a really quick little thing here. I've got everybody from Joe Bonamassa, Jerry Douglas, Al Schmidt, Phil Collins, Jackson Brown, Chris Squire, Michael Nouri, the actor, Jane Seymour, Dweezil Zappa, Graham Nash, Peter Frampton, J.D. Souther, Stevie Nicks, Hans Zimmer, Clint Black, Jeff Bridges, Taj Mahal. I mean, it's tons and tons of people just going. And the thing is, this is really not the crux of it to me. There's a few ways of doing this, but I love this. When you kind of empower somebody to give you the finger, their face says it all. And so it's been a ball. We just loaded in another 30 pallets of books today. I am exhausted.
Wow.
And I'm just sitting here filling orders every day. And it's a ball. It's nothing I ever thought I'd do. And the pandemic really opened up a lot of doors to me because, like all the other musicians, the minute this hit, we all became unemployed.
Hmm.
And it's really heartbreaking because we're all so hungry to get back out on the road and play music again. And our band, the Immediate Family, is staying really active. We're going to, at the beginning of the year, we have an album that we finished just before the pandemic hit. And so we've been waiting on that. And Denny Tedesco, who made the Wrecking Crew movie, is doing a documentary film about us, and that's still in progress. But the band is myself and Danny Cooch Korchmar, Waddy Wachtel, Russ Kunkel, and Steve Postel. So, I love these guys, and we're trying to just slog through all of this and keep a focus on the future once we can all get back to work again.
Hmm. And of course, everybody will be giving you a finger as well too. And
Oh, absolutely.
and of course, for those that missed it, give us about the origin of giving the finger and how that first got started.
Well, when we were on the road in 2004 with Phil Collins doing the first final farewell tour, they had hired a bass tech for me, and I'd never really had a bass tech before. I'm pretty much self-sufficient on the road. And so we always had a running gag, that he really had nothing to do with me and stuff. But towards the end of the tour, it was becoming obvious at that time that Phil was thinking about retiring.
Mhm.
And I thought, there's a ton of people out here on tour. If we had like 100 crew, and I thought I'd like to take a picture of everybody and just put it away in my memory book, just to, because a lot of them were from Europe and the UK, and I might never see them again. So chance would have it, the first person I go up to say, give me a smile, is Steve Winstead, my bass tech. And he's sitting at his laptop working. And I say, give me a smile. And he goes, and I looked at the
Bass tech
picture.
of all people.
Yeah. And so I looked at the picture and I went, this is actually pretty cool. So I went and got Phil, his manager, Tony Smith, all the band, all the crew, caterers, truck drivers, and I put it away for a couple of years. And then when I went on the road with Toto, I thought I'll do the same thing. And it got up to about 300 pictures. And before I knew it, I had 12,000 pictures of people taken.
Wow.
And we honed that down for this book to 6,000. And it's just, it's a funny thing. Out of all those 12,000 people, I probably had 20 people who said no.
Really? And,
Yeah.
and that's about what? Oh gosh, I'm trying to do the math. Maybe like less than 2%, 1%.
Oh, it's less. It's like infinitesimal, and and it was it's really everybody jumped on it, and I've got everything from like super aggressive faces to people doing that kind of stuff and hiding. I got Marilyn Martin who sang "Separate Lives" with Phil Collins, and she's like hiding like this, and
Oh my gosh.
it's very sweet. It's very sweet, and the thing is, we're in such a difficult time that I wanted to have something like you doing your show. I wanted to have something that made people laugh and smile. And everybody who's seen the book just immediately goes, "This is unbelievable. This is so cool." And and that's really the essence of what I wanted out of it. I wanted people just to kind of sit and start perusing it and go, "Oh wow, oh wow," and look at and seeing all these people like Jay Leno and Matthew McConaughey and because in my travels, I just grab people all the time. The worst that happens is they say no.
Mhm.
And rarely do they do it. I mean, I got like Paula Dean, the cook, it's all these, it's a real cast of characters.
I can imagine, Paul, you hate my cooking?
I know, exactly. But for me, it's like, you're number one in my book.
Yeah, you're number one in my book. That's right. And I double that.
Absolutely. So, I'm having fun. I'm having fun with it all. It's an arduous job getting them out. The hard part of the being the pandemic that's taking place was I would love to have had a little, bunch of friends over and get a little assembly line going, because we're pretty much, I self-published it and we're, shipping everything myself. And, but now with the pandemic, I really can't have other people around. So it's become a pretty arduous job filling, I've got, a lot of requests for the book, and I'm going to fill them all. It's just going to take longer than I anticipated.
And probably past the holiday season too. And
Oh yeah,
if
yeah.
you go a regular rate, it's like, when do you think all the books would be shipped by? About, it's not going to be Christmas for sure. And of course, as we're speaking, we'll probably be into 2021, maybe around January, February, March,
Yeah,
maybe in
yeah.
April or so.
Yeah, I mean, I've shipped a bunch. I mean, every night I do a pile of them and then head right to the post office in the morning and send them off. So a lot of people will be getting them, but the post office has been somewhat damaged through this election, and then now you've got COVID and you've got the holidays, so everything is just backing up. So I'm doing the best I can, and I keep posting on my site that please be patient. You will get your books. And everybody's been so generous and just writing back on, look at, man, don't kill yourself over this. Just when it gets here, it gets here.
It's like Christopher Columbus. You're right. I mean, it took him so many years to travel the world, and they said, "Don't hurry up. You'll get there. You'll get there." You're right. And of course, we definitely love you having you on, Leland, because we don't want anything that bad happen to you. So please take it easy. And I urge everybody, take it easy what you're doing. I mean, I should speak for myself. It's like, I came close to a heart attack a couple of times, during the year. Things got stressful. Myself, I'm gonna reveal my age. Coming up in 2021, I'll be 57, and
you're a baby. You're a little niblet. I mean, I'm 73. So.
73, 57. Well, then again, being 16, I mean, back in the old days, it's like you've been good for a father. But then it's just like, can you really handle yourself at 16? You get some questions about that. And I work with a guy that who's 14 years younger than I am. It's like, man, you could be my dad. I'm like, a legitimate one. And I look at seriously, if you think of being a father at 14, 16 years old, it's like you need to get your head examined. I'd say 18 is like borderline, 21, okay. I would say, in my opinion, 24, 27, start being a dad. That's when you know what the hell you're doing. If you don't know what the hell you're doing
Yeah.
around 24, 27, something's wrong.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. So
Yeah, but when you see these people like kids having kids, it's a rough road for
uh,
them.
and of course you also watched that program too. Was it 16 and Pregnant on MTV,
Yeah.
which is what it's been around since 1981, 82, and they only did what 10 years of music. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. It's
Oh,
just
it
crazy.
is. Oh my gosh, yes. And of course, we got some other products as well too. We'll talk more with Leland Sklar, but first listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition rate. Call today 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@SonicWebStudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, check out the latest novel by well-known award-winning author Mia Motion Z of No Time for Love, called Missing, an extraordinary relationship between two ordinary people based on real-life events that go through 4 countries, 2 strangers, and 1 target, where truth is an illusion and the ones you love be the first to go missing. Check out the book on Amazon and other retailers, available on all formats today. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com and over 30 podcast platforms, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, Amazon Audible, coming soon to Podbean, Buzzsprout, Pandora, and TuneIn, and also worldwide on Geo7, Himalaya, Radio Public, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel, and follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here at legendary basis, and also author of the book Everybody Loves Me, and the host of the YouTube channel Leland Sklar and the Mike Wagner Show. And I was just thinking about the book Everybody Loves Me, how it's going well. Any plans for another book, like a sequel or anything like that?
This is so fresh at this point that I think I want to see this one through and see what happens after that. I mean, I've been hit on for years by people wanting me to do, an autobiography about my life in the music business. I'm still very hesitant about that. I'm kind of playing that out on my YouTube channel by all the stories and things I'm telling there. I like verbalizing stories, but the idea of sitting down and writing a book about it hasn't captivated me yet. But I've got my plate full because I've got T-shirts on my site that are really fun. That has my beard on the front of the shirt.
I saw that. I love it. I want to pick one up, maybe for my birthday, and say, hey, this is what's happening to me, my career.
Yeah, this is me after the lockdown here. But it's been fun. People have been buying them, and then they're sending me pictures of them wearing the shirts. So that's fun. And then I was an artist back in college. When I met James Taylor, I was studying science and art, and I was thinking about going into technical or medical illustration, something like that. So I've put some of my artwork up on my website too. And I just went to the post office today and shipped off some real high-end quality prints of my stuff. So I'm trying to cover a lot of territory. I might have bitten off a whole lot more than I was ready for, but I'm that kind of person where sitting around doesn't sit with me well. And so I'd rather be way too busy than not busy.
Mm-hmm. And I can see what you're saying too, that there's a lot of things like with medical and the science field. It's not all about trying to remember formulas and do lab experiments and all that. Try to blow things up like Dexter's Laboratory and those crazy Saturday morning cartoons. There's
Acme.
Yeah, Acme. Oh yeah, Roadrunner, and oh my gosh, I mean, he just made it.
Wile E. Coyote, man, what a life! What a knucklehead! Those were such great cartoons.
Oh my gosh, and we talked about going to Wayback Machine, Saturday morning cartoons, and all that. And of course, I still think to this day, it's like I still want to run to the store and get a box of Frosted Flakes and just sit in front of the TV in my
Yeah.
pajamas. And of course, I could wear no pajamas, but I gotta keep the bottoms on and gotta be decent. Just have a bowl of Frosted Flakes and just Bugs Bunny, Roadrunner, and whatever else. And if Babs comes on, well, I guess that's a different story. So
Well, that's a whole other thing, but yeah, it's one of those things that there's just something comforting about all that. When at one point I was involved with a group of players, and we were doing all of the Filmation cartoon music. So we were doing like Jabberjaws, the Archies, Groovy Ghoulies, and all those shows.
yeah, this.
Yeah, it's so much fun doing that stuff. When I listen back to all the old classic Warner Brothers stuff, Carl Stallings' music and that stuff was remarkable. It's probably some of the hardest music ever written because it's so chaotic for those.
And of course, they also talk about having another Animaniacs come out. It was such a big, the mid 90s that they're doing a reboot of the Animaniacs. I haven't seen it yet, unlike most of the reboots that have tanked. The word is out that this reboot is doing really well or about to do really well.
That's great. That's really wonderful.
Mm-hmm. And of course, I'm looking forward to see what they're doing. Did they grow up, or are they going to be stuck in that Warner Brothers? Like, how are they going to handle themselves during the pandemic? I guess that's the question. How are they going to handle themselves?
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those periods in time that'll definitely be defined by how people present this, because this is nothing you're going to be able to brush under the carpet once it's over. I mean, this is such a powerful impact on humanity. I mean, being that it's a global and not a localized thing. So it'll be interesting to see through the arts, how it's addressed, with all the shows that are going on where there's no audience, the sporting events where it's cardboard cutouts of people in the, and stuff.
Oh,
it's pretty weird. It's pretty weird.
Mm-hmm. And of course, I have to say too, I actually listened to the Packers on one of the radio stations in Bismarck. Hearing Aaron Rodgers throw a touchdown pass, you hear a crowd cheer. It's like nothing's going on. I went,
it's got to be pretty weird for the players, I mean, because you like musicians, you feed off of that audience, and so suddenly you're playing your heart out, but there's like, sometimes some of them, I guess, they're piping in the sound of crowds, almost like a laugh track in a TV show.
A laugh track, that's right. And of course, I also read too that the funnier the comedy, they'll tone down the laugh track, but if a comedy goes wrong, then they'll turn it up and just stretch out a long time. So that's a thing I've learned as well too. It's just like, I mean, I don't know if I could do a laugh track, but of course, comedy clubs, I do the unique laughs, and that's how I make the comedians funnier. It's like you have drinks and they have drinks, and it gets more funnier as it goes on.
Yeah, even if it isn't.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. And I mean, I remember some of the comedies back in the 70s. I think Jefferson's, Welcome Back, Kotter, and I'm just going off the cuff here. And you gotta say that, I mean, sometimes comedy isn't what it used to be, or maybe they could improve some. It's like, lighten up, people, lighten up.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I still always fall back on, it's like when I go to bed at night, we have Me TV out here, METV, and I'm sitting there watching Twilight Zones and Alfred Hitchcock and all those shows, and get up in the morning and My Three Sons and Leave It to Beaver, all these shows I grew up with. One of the greatest things for me was I did 2 albums with Andy Griffith.
Oh, wow.
And the first one we did, he won a Contemporary Gospel Grammy for it. And I walk in the studio and there's Andy Griffith, and I'm like freaking out, I'm pinching myself. And man, the funniest thing that came out of that was he was sitting there, and it was, after Matlock and all that. And he's got this thick white hair, and he looks at us and he goes, "Who would have thought I'd have all this white hair and Opie'd be bald?" It was one of the funniest things, man. I almost fell down laughing. It was such a great thing.
Oh my goodness.
He was a good guy. We became friends. He would call me up from North Carolina, and I'd get these answering machine messages. Say, "Hey, Lee, how you doing? It's Andy down here in North Carolina. How you doing?" And I'd call him back, and we'd talk on the phone for a while. He was such a delightful man, And it was funny. I had done an album with, oh God, Gomer.
Jim Neighbors.
Yeah, Jim Neighbors. I had done one with him. And then I said, oh, it's just too bad Don Knotts doesn't sing. You guys could do like the Three Bubbas or something like that. And he said, actually, Don had a very good voice. So that would have been a funny thing to see those guys together.
I think they would have, and they would try to sing Andy Griffith a cappella, try to do a rap song, or almost
Anything.
try a country song. You're right. And I remember my mom was a huge Jim Neighbors fan. You know, Jim
Yeah.
Neighbors always goes, "Golly, Sarge, what are you doing?" And here comes Jim Neighbors singing "Dream, the Impossible Dream." I went,
Yeah.
"Whoa, this is Gomer Pyle singing," and
Yeah.
he's just so multi-talented. And I looked, I'm like, I'm doing double take like this. And he goes, "Yeah, this is the real thing." And she's obsessed with him, just records
Yeah.
all over the place. My goodness.
He had a beautiful voice, and it was really great being in the studio with him. I love being in the studio with guys like those legit singers like that. Like I would work with people like Andy Williams, and and you just put that in Streisand and all those kind of singers, and you just put your headphones on and you sort of just cream. You just go, wow. That's really amazing. So it's a serious instrument you got there.
Mhm. And of course, too, one of the things else that came up too is Cliff Richard, that he had those 3 hits, but very popular in the UK. And I'm scratching my head. It's like, if he's that popular in the UK, how come he only had 3 hit singles in the US? You do had a pleasure working with Cliff Richard, and what's it like working with him?
Yeah, I mean, all those guys are amazing. I mean, that's for me has been the blessing of my career is the variety of artists that I've had the pleasure of working with. And there's a lot of them that have never been heard of in the United States. Japanese artists, French artists, German artists, Italian artists that nobody knows about here. And in their countries, they're like gods. And so it's real fascinating when you get to do these kind of cross-cultural things. I just finished a project with a guy from Argentina, and it's just great. And he's getting legs on it now, and I always just kind of pinch myself, going, man, this is a cool gig. I'm pretty happy.
And then what are some of the other countries you've traveled in, just to be in a recording studio with? I mean, you've been all over the US, so maybe some of your best adventures like outside the country.
Oh, I mean, that's one of the greatest things about the gig is the travel. And certainly with somebody like with Phil Collins, I mean, we pretty much hit so many places in the world. I mean, we were in Russia, the Middle East, all throughout Europe, Scandinavia, England, New Zealand, Australia, Japan. The one place we were supposed to go and we had to cancel it was Africa.
Oh, wow.
And I think it was when Phil was doing the music for Tarzan and it was going to Broadway, and the producers of the show wanted Phil to be there for the rehearsals, and that was the window where we were supposed to go to Africa. And needless to say, because of that, that got canceled, and we never got rescheduled because that was the point where Phil decided to call it. And then lo and behold, 10 years later, we ended up going out doing the Not Dead Yet tour for the past 2 years, 2.5 years. So it's never over till it's over. You never know what's going to happen. That's the adventure of this business. Is every day's a new experience.
Mhm. And of course, every day is a gift as well, too. We're here with Leland Sklar, legendary session bass player here on the Mike Wagner Show. And of course, 2,000 people. And I'm just trying to think, that, I'm just trying to go through a list right here that, oh man, I'm just, trying to figure out what's what and everything else. And, oh, here we go. John Stewart,
I love John.
John
Yeah,
Stewart, yes.
he was just one of those great guys. I mean, when the folk trios of that period was always great. And Russ Kunkel was very close with John Stewart. He worked with him a great deal. But yeah, John was a sweetheart of a guy and really talented songwriter. I mean, there's so many great, like if I looked over the discography, which I never really do unless I have to do, talk to somebody about it. But I feel, the variety of the cast of characters in it has been really fun to go from Wayne Newton to Alice Cooper, and stuff. It's pretty nuts.
And then have you tried to go golfing with Alice Cooper or ever thought about it? That was one of my ambitions, although I suck at golfing.
Yeah, I kind of gave up on golf when it was hard to get the ball through the windmill and the giant's mouth. Yeah, I'm not good at that. But Alice he's serious golfer. And it's really cool. I mean, we've been friends for a long, long time, and I talked to him about that. And he really has a really great mindset about who Vince is and who Alice is. And so when he's Alice, it's 100% Alice. The minute he's off stage, he's Vince, and he's out playing golf and doing all that. And it's a pretty healthy way to approach that kind of a persona, to have that separation of church and state.
Right. Exactly it. And of course, my son Sam was, asked me, he wanted to ask you. It's like, is it gonna be apocalypse of Looney Tunes? I guess he wanted to keep asking me, ask you that question. Is there gonna be a apocalypse of Looney Tunes?
Who knows? Who knows? Right now, the potential for anything is so insane that, why not? You just don't know.
Exactly. You don't know. That's the whole thing. So what can we expect from you in 2021 and beyond, or maybe even to 2022? We all know about pandemic and everything, and maybe something somewhat planned down the road, maybe another book or.
Yeah, right now, with the time that I've got, since music is pretty much shut down. I mean, I'm doing some recording from home, putting bass parts on tracks that people are sending me. But for the most part, since we're locked down, I'm just focusing on the book right now and really dumping all my energy into that and doing my YouTube every day. But the thing I'm really looking forward to, especially with our band, that's where I really want to focus in the future, is with the group and really get things going. I would love it if people would come to the immediate family's YouTube channel and subscribe, because we're building that. And there's our new video for New York Minute, which Danny Korchmar wrote with Don Henley, is a beautiful video. And we've got a bunch of videos and a cappella stuff. But I'm going to focus on the band more than anything. I think, but there was some work I was supposed to do this past May that's now been moved to March of 22. So, wow. People just don't know. So they're erring on the side of caution, where they're booking farther in advance in the hopes that things will be better, rather than constantly moving only 3 months and then having to cancel again and reschedule again. But it's with the advent now of vaccines being developed, there's potentially a light at the end of the tunnel with all of this, as long as people are smart and just don't, when this is over, the best thing to be would be alive. And the numbers are climbing dramatically every day with deaths and sickness. So I haven't been to a restaurant since March. I'll get some takeout, but we haven't sat in a restaurant. LA's in a full lockdown now. So you just want to be smart about all of this stuff. And it's not that difficult a thing to do, to put a mask on and clean yourself up and don't get in somebody's face. And then this could be over.
And of course, I'm going to demonstrate right now for those who haven't done so. You can just do it like this right here. So, and of course, luckily we're 6 feet apart, but I wasn't sure if you heard me with a mask on or not. So I don't know if you'd be able to hear well or not. So I guess that's one of my main concerns. Like, can you still hear me with a mask?
Well, it probably depends on the mask. I mean, if you've got like this diaper on your face, it might be kind of muffled. Or wrapping your head in a jock strap or something might kind of mess it up. But most masks you can pretty much do it. Like when we've done 2 live streams with the band, and there was a real small crews on these things, and everybody was masked. But when we performed, we situated ourselves on stage where we were farther apart, and we all tested and everything, and took the masks off for the performance and then put them right back on afterwards. So you can't go insane over this, but you have to be cognizant of the conditions that we're in. And I just wish everybody to be alive at the end. That's at the end of this, so that we can move on with our lives. And I'm just so horny to play music for people at this point. It's I've never gone this long without performing. It's very bizarre. I mean, I've been on the road every year for 50 years now, and suddenly to have a year. We had one gig this year. We did a thing called the Rock Legends Cruise in February that went from Fort Lauderdale to the Grand Caymans and back. And it was Roger Daltrey and Nancy Wilson from Heart, and all kinds of artists were on this cruise. And the immediate family did it. And they asked us to come back for the next one, and then they had to cancel that cruise, which was going to be February of next year. So hopefully we'll do the one the following year, because we had a fantastic time hanging. And the people that come on those cruises are so into having a great time. It's really fun. Any musician that's done one of those probably walks away with a lot of great memories from them.
In fact, I'm thinking about getting on a cruise myself and maybe go to Jamaica, Mons. So
do it.
Yes.
Come back with like Rasta and everything.
or be like Burning Man or something like that.
Yeah. That'd be fantastic. Are you kidding?
Oh my goodness. I mean, I could just see this right now, to be honest with you. Oh, just a lot of possibilities. We're here with Leland Sklar here on the Mike Wagner Show. And of course, we normally have you play, but you know something, after the pandemic goes away, hopefully have you back and talk more and everything else. And of course, let's give our salute, and we love you. So we got to do that again. Yes. Yes, that's right. And of course, once again, tell us about your where can we find you? What's your website? Where can we find you on YouTube? Where can we purchase your book?
Okay, my website, I was trying to get lelandsklar.com or leesklar.com. Somebody bought those domains. So rather than go kiss up to some schmuck that bought my name, my website is called lelandsklar'sbeard.com. And that's where the book, the beard t-shirts, and my artwork is. I just go to YouTube and put in Leland Sklar, and my channel will be there. And there's probably about 375 videos. There's been one every day since the pandemic began. And there's a gift shop where there's t-shirts and mugs and hoodies and all that kind of stuff with my image on them. And, people keep sending me pictures of them with the stuff. And there's all kinds of goodies in there. And that's pretty much it. And then I'm on Facebook every day, dealing with that. And I'm just trying to enjoy everything as much as I possibly can under the most adverse of circumstances. And please go to YouTube and go to the Immediate Family page and subscribe. I would appreciate that, because we're building that page daily. And I love my brothers. The band's called the Immediate Family, and it truly is. Russ Kunkel, Danny Korchmar, and Waddy Wachtel. We've been together for 50 years. We've never had words between us, anything. It's all been just the love of music and friendship. And Steve Postel, who joined up with us, we've been friends for about 15 years. And so he rounded out the group. So that's about as much hustle as I've got in my old creaky bones right now, I think.
Well, enjoy while you can, and like to wish you all the best with the book, and keep us up to date. And hopefully we'll find a sequel from you. Keep us up to date with YouTube, any projects, and of course, keep me up to date, keep us up to date. And we definitely love to have you back on in 2021. And maybe we want some Saturday morning cartoons, or Bugs Bunny or anything like that.
Absolutely. And Mike, it is always a treat to be here with you, man. I so appreciate your enthusiasm for what you do, and you're one special cat, man. I love it.
And then next time I'll have my son Sam down as a special guest, and maybe I'll bring my dog, and I'll
please
a couple of cats, and maybe get some animals from ZZ Top and bring them over, and some other guests as well too. So it'll be like a party, and you can bring your friends too if you have animals.
I will, man. If once we can all get in the same room together and be in close proximity, I would love to do that.
We certainly will. Once again, Leland, a very big thank you for your time. Being absolutely great. Looking forward to having you again soon, and keep us up to date. And yes, we love you.
Thank you, Mike.